And so we've reached the Ixilan part of the Phyrexian invasion. Wait, one second. And so we've reached the Ixilan part of the Phyrexian invasion in March of the Machine story. And to be honest, I was actually pretty suspect of the ability of the non-Phyrexians to fight them off on this plane. This plane is not very technologically advanced. It's not very magically advanced. Some of its biggest power hitters, stuff like Azor, has gone to madness, and its beasties are things that Phyrexia has shown they can kind of take over. It doesn't have the evolutionary abilities that something like Ikoria has to be able to defend themselves. And due to the fact that these factions have been at war with each other for so long, it's set up pretty early that they're not well prepared to move away from those squabbles to be able to fight off this invasion from Phyrexia. Merfolk and pirates actually were not in the story at all. That's maybe my biggest complaint, is we didn't get any of two of the four factions that are a key part of this plane. I guess you could argue that maybe merfolk have a chance. Like, the one thing we don't know anything about is Phyrexian's naval abilities. They don't have an ocean on Phyrexia. Do they know how ships work? And the Sun Warriors actually do really well. They have a lot more of the, like, city-states to be able to fight them off. But dinosaurs are not the best in my brain at fighting Phyrexians, which we'll talk about in a second. And Huatli is pretty, not the nicest to the rulers of the Sun Kingdom. They do not look good in this story, which we now get to. So the story is actually very interestingly set out. It starts with Huatli and her cousin, another warrior, and a bunch of vampires, including Mavrin. Yeah, Mavrin. Spoilers, Galt is going to show up. So they're in the middle of a temple, and there's something massive banging against the door that's holding firm so far, but they don't have anywhere to escape. The story is then written as like a series of flashbacks, and I'll just go chronologically because my brain's going to handle that better. But basically, it starts with Phyrexia invading. Actually, it starts before Phyrexia even invaded, and the fact that the Sun Warriors are planning this massive expedition where most of their armies are now on these new naval ships that they finally learned how to use after stealing them from the vampires to go invade their continent in revenge for the invasion that the vampires have been going through. That's setting the stage. Sun Warriors have, for the most part, defeated most of the vampires and are now sending their own army to the other continent. We get no mentions of pirates. We get no mentions of merfolk still. At all. Neither are mentioned in this entire story that I can remember. But in the midst of this process, the Phyrexians attack, totally sidelining everyone. There's a meeting that Huatli is in with the leader of the people, and basically establishing that like all of their outskirt cities have been overtaken by the Phyrexians. The Phyrexians are ignoring a lot of their farmlands because they don't care about food. They care about people and power. The leader is just mad. He's like throwing his ships on the ground because he's just like so bitter that his invasion of the vampires doesn't get to happen, that he like is kind of a baby about the fact that there's these invaders, Phyrexians. Why do I have to deal with them? I want to fuck up some vampires. And as the city is being surrounded, Huatli comes up with the idea that like, hey, me and a strike team of some of my best people and maybe some prisoners can go through the farmlands to go to the part of Ixilan where all of the elder dragons live. If we can, get the elder dragons to start acting up, elder dinosaurs acting up. If we get the elder dinosaurs acting up, the Phyrexians will want to go hunt them because they want power. They don't like the bigger, more powerful thing they can get to complete them, the happier they are. And these are some of the few forces maybe on the plane that can fight them. A big let them fight kaiju battle, Godzilla quote, blah, 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 blah. So they do that. Huatli releases Mavrin from jail and his vampire paladins, and she and her lancers, who are, I believe are Sun Warriors that ride dinosaurs and have pole arms, etc. They go to the part of the plane where the elder dragons live. It's this big city. It's been abandoned. Phyrexia has already kind of overrun this area at one point, though the elder dinosaurs didn't come out. And as they arrive, the Phyrexians have given them chase, and they arrive in tandem. And at this moment, Atali, I'm going to take this off. Atali shows up in the distance, and they're like, oh, yay, the elder oh, no. Because Atali's been completed. Atali is now, I'm assuming we're going to get this as a card. It'll be like the Heliod one, where one side will be, red, and then the black side will be black, because this is the black mana aesthetic. And it's revealed that Atali is the thing that is banging on the door from the first scene. The Phyrexians invade the city. It's a big battle to get even into that base, and Atali is knocking on the door. Huatli realizes that their group, there are inside tunnels in the building temple that they're in that allow her and them to get to the top of that building in the Golden City. So they all decide to do that. Right, it's the Golden City that they're all in. That's the place where the Elder Dragons are. Yeah. Bad at directions in real life. I have to remember continental directions. But they are able to get to the very top of the Golden City's main pyramid. At the top of that, they then see Atali is climbing up said pyramid to get to them. It's all is lost. Everything's going bad, and then bam, the dawn arises. Out of the sky, Zetalpa just dive bombs Atali. They get scuffling. They fall off the pyramid. They're biting each other. They're clawing at the wings. It's a back and forth battle. The ferocity of these two elder dinosaurs fighting each other is something that Huatli couldn't even really imagine. Which then Tetsamok, the Primal Death, and an army of, the dinosaurs that are the Hammer Club, Ankylosaurs, march into the city as well, just attacking all of the just standard Phyrexians. He's shooting spines at all of them. For Badgie, yeah, Badgie, karma. Nizahal, literally floods the city, and just, wraps their neck around some of the Phyrexians and dive bombs them. Galta starts charging into the city. We realize that Maverin has actually jumped onto Galta, and all the vampires are riding the different dinosaurs into battle. It's then revealed that Zetalpa is at a standstill with Atali, and Zetalpa kind of flaws off their wounds a little bit as Atali does the good old sorry. It sounds more like a TIE fighter. But then we hear a roar in the distance, and Zakama is here. The Primal Calamity marches into the scene, and they fight Atali, and Atali did not have a chance. They breathe a sound fire blast, so just destructive that it just evaporates not only just parts of Atali's body, but the gold on the pyramid behind it, melting it into its stony visage underneath. Zakama roared again, unleashing another wave of heat and sound up the flank of the temple toward Atali. The winged temple's golden facade flash melted before her, revealing a fan of dark stone beneath. Atali staggered, exposed metal endoskeleton superheating, twisting, flaring, and splitting as the sheer force of Zakama's bellow buffeted him. He fell to a knee, bracing with one of his razor arms to stop any further fall and raise the other in defense. Zakama bit down on Atali's arm with her main head and tore it free with a single swift movement. Atali struggled to stand, but Zakama other two heads lunged forward, pinning and turning the elder dragon to the ground. Pinning the turn elder to the dinosaur. They're dinosaurs. I'm embarrassed for having worn it and saying dragon so many times. I'm sorry. But yeah, Atali, the killer, Atali's dead. And the Phyrexians are pretty much defeated. The elder dinosaurs then kind of look at Huatli and they're like, hey, and they march towards the main city of the Sun Warriors to fight off the rest of the Phyrexians. So yeah, I mean, the one thing I was sad is that we still haven't gotten a Phyrexian naval battle. I think Phyrexians would be outclassed in water. They don't have boats. I wanted more pirates. I'm missing the pirate experience from this. But I'm glad, especially because the dinosaurs are a little redundant with what Ikoria was doing. We've had a lot of dinosaur versus Phyrexia, not enough pirate versus Phyrexia. Though I guess Kaladesh has a little bit of that. One interesting thing also about today's story is that we got a lot of scenes between Huatli and Saheeli, which they're in love with each other. Between that and the Nissa Chandra stuff, today might be the most pro-lesbian representation in Magic Story Day of all time. I will say after the dinosaurs fighting each other at the end stuff, the Saheeli-Huatli scenes are easily the best part. What's interesting about this story is also that this is one of the first sets we're returning to after the March of the Machine storyline. So it's going to be one of the first places we kind of get to see the ramifications of this story. The other one being Eldraine, not their kids. So I'm fascinated to see what that continues. But there's a lot of missing threads. We don't know what Azor is up to. We don't know what any of the pirates are up to. We don't know what any of the merfolk are doing here. It's about the Lost Cavern, so assuming there's even additional groups of creature types that are going to have themes. Surprising no one.